Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. Happy midweek Wednesday. And there's a couple of kind of public service announcements that I would like to make that I'm not sure if I did in my previous videos. Namely, I want to talk about Battleworld, which is now launched for this week, which I guess is going to be the last time that it's going to be coming around in the Battleworld 1 edition. There's some questions about what happens after, right? For those players who were not starting at the beginning, what does that mean for null shards? I don't have the answers to that, but I do want to talk about that a little bit. And also some new stuff regarding null red stars and how we're going to be able to get that 7 red. There's a little bit of data mines. There's not a ton of stuff right now. I expect more to be maybe coming out for tomorrow. So maybe in the next video, there's going to be some more talk about next week, namely Fallen Dimension. There's some other stuff that popped up in the data mines previously that hopefully we'll get some more details on soon. But all that and more in today's video, so if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Now, the first thing that I want to start off with, well, you know, Battleworld's still going on right now, and possibly by the time you watch this video, we're getting pretty close to Battleworld Zone 2, right? And we're moving along there. So if it's still the same as last time, I guess it's 24 hour. I think it's 420. They keep flipping back between 24 hours of null and 48 hours of null. I don't even know which one it is this time. Just keep an eye out on that. And I think it's 24 hours per zone. I think I'm gonna have to double check this in a minute. They've been flipping back and forth on that. But as far as Battleworld credits go, we're not getting any more of that because they're retiring the store, I guess, which was kind of shocking. And this didn't even last very long. To be honest, they really need to just make one legacy store. I don't know if that's what they're actually planning on doing with the shop credits. It's like literally just crunch all these stupid tabs into one tab. Is that possible? Anyways, make sure that, you know, for if you have these credits, to try and use them as much as you can before it goes away. Now, I'm not a big fan of buying purple ISO stuff with it because I think the prices are bad. That being said, I'm not even sure I'm going to clear out all of my Battleworld credits before this goes away. For me, I'm picking up shards for the Thunderbolts every time there's a reset here. But you know, I want to kind of pivot to the blog very quickly. We're going to get back to this in a second here. So they talked about this down, retiring currency conversions happening on August the 13th. So that's going to be in about a week, right? So next Wednesday, if you haven't already, make sure you spend the rest of your chapter 1 intel. That's going to be on August 13th, but that's not all because there's other stuff happening as well. So, you know, make sure you're doing that too, right? You have 7 days left to clear your intel out. But they're also retiring other game mode currencies, alliance credits. Now, this is, we're going to talk about Battleworld credits first. So this is converted 10 to 1 to T3 ISO 8 credits. What is that? That is going to be, if you go to the ISO 8 tab, I'm pretty sure it is this stuff, right? These are the credits, T3 ISO 8 credits. For you to buy crystals at your leisure, you know, it's not ions, but it's crystals to be able to buy that, which is basically what this is now, this stuff. Right? Nobody ever bought these orbs. This was some of the worst. This was like the worst store ever, with the exception of the shards. That being said, this is a really important topic because this allowed us to get access to these characters before they were actually made farmable. Because I think we're still about another month away from Thunderbolts being farmable. So this is a question about, yeah, sure, we could buy this in the Chapter 2 store and all that, but realistically, we don't really want to because we're going to be buying the more new characters probably, or G20, right? I don't want to buy Thunderbolts from the Chapter 2 store at this point unless they're heavily reduced in the price. But as of now, you know, things are not that way, right? It's 12.5 thousand. That's what they need to do, right? They need to update this every month and basically lower the cost of the characters as they go along. Like, why would I spend 12.5 thousand on Thunderbolts when they're going to be farmable soon when I could spend the same amount on the Fantastic Four who are 2 months newer, right? You get me? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So this may be a big hit to free-to-play players who are just going to now start to get less shards overall. Speaking of, my Victoria hand's not even 5 yellow. It's kind of crazy, actually, that they're probably like less than a month before farmability. And for some reason, my Victoria hand shards has been super low. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that since they retired the Path Orbs, let's be real, they retired the Path Orbs. They're still here, but you get like one or two. Like, it's not how we had it before with vigilantes, because I was looking at my vigilantes, and when they got into the Battleworld store, I was already like 6 yellow across the board on most of them, because we had a lot more drip drop of shards from the path orbs, and this stopped at thunderbolts. Like, we just did not get them in the raids and places like that we used to. So overall, there's I think there's a decrease in free-to-play shards for new characters. We still get like the 100 shard events, those sorts of things, but after that, we do get a little bit from the RTA and strike pass for the characters, and then we're on our own, right? So I think maybe they've pulled back from this because we've been getting too many, or at least in their eyes, we've been getting too many, and they're even pulling back from the Battleworld store, and I think that kind of sucks. That being said, they're also converting Alliance credits and Ultra credits, so it looks like they're also retiring the Ultimate store or the Ultra store, right? And this wasn't the best by any means, but it was still a way to get shards for characters when they went into bumps. So when new characters went into the bumps, orbs, and all that stuff, they also went into the Ultra store, and they would appear occasionally here for you to be able to buy additional shards from. And I think that this did help a lot of players, especially players with maxed accounts, right, or maxed 7 yellows, because it would eventually well, it doesn't anymore, right? Like, or no, you still do actually, but that's the only, it's very hard to get these now, because now you would have to spend shop credits to open up other orbs, right, to get, and we don't have arena orbs anymore to open, really. Like, you would have to open spotlight orbs for dupes to get ultra credits. So yeah, they're getting rid of this as well. The question is, are we going to be able to buy any of this stuff with shop credits? They've not really answered that. They just said we're retiring and converting more game store mode currencies. Now, are we still going to be able to buy the stuff in the Ultra store? What is their end game plan with the stores? Are they going to be actually retiring the stores, or are they just retiring the currencies? I don't know. It's a bit like, are we going to be able to buy is the Battleworld store still going to be there for shop credits? I don't think so, but it hasn't been unless I missed something. Please let me know in the comments down below, because that's something that I would like to know. Just like your intel, be sure to spend all this stuff before the conversion date. Your reward sources for the above currency will also change. So Stark Tech costs will convert from Alliance credits to shop credits. Okay, Battleworld credits awarded will convert to T3 ISO8 credits, right? So it basically, we're not going to be able to get anymore. Each duplicate shards will now convert into 12 shop credits. Okay, but like, are we still going to be able to buy all this stuff? That's what I want to know. It's super confusing. The introduction of a legacy store is also okay. So we'll consolidate items from the game mode store as we phase out, and where you'll spend. It was a mess. It's been a mess. It's not been clean going over to this. Like, I don't get the incremental changes. I don't know why they just could not wait until all of this is ready and then flip everything over at the same time. Why is that? Because I think that's made it a little bit more confusing. But that's just me. And so when we go into our battle world, PS, we because I wanted to bring this up, this thread here a little bit. Antimatter Economy isn't looking good. This actually happened not too long after my video that I posted yesterday, talking about antimatter and whether or not we're still going to get there or not. Right, the 300,000 in the monthly, the weekly there. Now I'm at 100,000, and we're at about almost 2 days in, right? And yeah, they can easily just put in a flash event to really clean that up if they really want to, but it kind of just shows that I don't know if they know what's going on necessarily. However, I do want to point out that, at least for me, and what I mean by me is I'm running difficulty 5 of Battleworld, so this might vary for people who are not there. There is rewards in Antimatter there. So this is the weekly siege rewards, about 17,000 at the top at tier 14. And then there's also some antimatter in the variety of different zones, right? So zone 1, I don't know if it's still there. Can I still see it? So 3,000 for this one. It's about 1,000 per wave. So 1,000 there for the Herald event or whatever. And so that's 7,000 for zone 1. And so that's going to be the case probably for zone 2, for zone 3, which also zone 2 looks like it's unlocking later on today. So that's 21,000 plus, did I say 17,000 on the weekly payout? And then over here at zone 4 with null, that you do get, wherever the rewards are here, you do get 32,000. So it looks like you're getting about 70,000 antimatter, at least at difficulty 5, and if you do a full clear of null. That being said, it scales quite dramatically. So if you are not here, and I don't know what this looks like on other currencies, sorry, on other difficulties. I don't know, if this is a lot less. I don't know how much this is, like a D1, D2, D5, whatever. Right. So maybe I might be okay for the 300,000 because I'm doing the literal maximum stuff. And then also, we don't know what's going to happen with null later on. And actually, it came to my attention that I did not talk about the data mines that I think I brought up at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to slide this in somewhere into the video, and my apologies. I got ahead of myself. So there is this 7 red null, right? That's going to be coming, I think, next week. This command center objective called Null Finale, right? Commander complete daily, weekly, and monthly objectives in the command center. That's interesting, right? So this seems to be like a long-term thing to get 7 red star null. Like, it's not just going to be a 1 week thing. This might be a mission that's quite lengthy. Antimatter and more. There's some typos here. Amdamore exclusive rewards. But how you're going to get points for this? It's going to be using gear tier 20 characters. Now, this is probably a premium objective, but my question would be, and I hope that's not that you actually need this to get a 7 red for him, but it does say play raids with gear tier 20 characters, play Crucible with gear tier 20, and play War with gear tier 20. Now, that's pretty much like all the game modes except for Arena and Blitz, of course. So if you do have any Gear Tier 20 characters in these categories, it's probably going to be some sort of point limit, or maybe not, actually. I don't know, right? Maybe it's just one character, right, for all I know. Because if this is in the command center, they don't have, like, milestone limits inside of the command center, I don't think. Well, actually, unless you have to do it with this, I don't know how they would do this. But anyways, just something that I wanted to give a heads up for. But I hope that Gear Tier 20 isn't actually required to get those reds for null, right? We have Sentry coming around for Battleworld 2, which is going to be slated for September. That's what we've heard. And the question about null shards has not been made clear yet, right? For those of you who did not start at the beginning, who were in, I don't know, the top 1,000, top 500, whatever the alliances were that made it through and got up to, where I'm at, basically, there is no mention about what we're going to be able to do with null and how we're going to get those extra shards, right? Some people are probably going to be short of 7 if they did not keep up to date with all things in their alliance in Battleworld every single time it came around, or if you're a newer player or whatever, right? My hope is that the shards become available. I don't know where. Maybe in the chapter currencies, or I don't think that they're going to put it into the legacy credits, shop credits. I don't think that's going to happen. So it could come into purchasable with the chapter currency, or maybe it might also be a reward for Battleworld 2. I doubt it. So I honestly don't have a clue. But I hope that it's something that's a bit player friendly, because there's going to be a lot of people that will still need to unlock him, because he is still very meta and probably will continue to be as long as they add symbiotes in the future, right? That can synergize with null. So this is a character to keep an eye on. He's also new player stats, new era stats as well, the 2.0 stats. So I think he's definitely going to be relevant for a long time, especially given the fact that he can neuter empowered forms, right? Characters killed by null cannot be revived, but wherever it is down here, enemies cannot become empowered. So as long as they continue to empower characters, null will have a place in the game's meta. So it's important to know where people are going to be able to obtain him. It doesn't have to be super quick, but knowing that would be good for the players to understand what's going to happen. As far as the rest of the stuff in this blog that I just wanted to kind of cover really quickly, is Zazel a little bit. So they made a separate blog post, right? I think they've been doing this for every new character, but Azazel, immediate impact. I have heard that, we haven't had Cosmic Crucible yet, but I heard he's kind of meh. And I did not do a video on him about should you core for Azazel, because by and large he's still a raid character, and I don't think the first character of a raid team is really going to do anything, and we don't even really need any of that right now in the Chaos raids, because you can just sim using, actually I'm on mutant right now, right? You can still use it's hilarious, and I don't want to level them up. Luckily I don't need to, but I guess by the time the next raid comes out, which has to be this month, right? They can't have a full month of the Hellfire Club and not have a raid team, not have the new raid out. Otherwise, what's going to convince people to buy them? Yes, they do have additional usages in Cosmic Crucible, which I don't have a curse. So I would actually love to hear from you guys in the comments when we get to Cosmic Crucible, maybe this weekend, if you've unlocked Azazel and how he works in that team. I don't have anyone in that team leveled up really, so that's not going to be for me, but I still would love to know how good he is there. I've heard he's quite squishy in the Xavier saga so far at low stars anyways, so that might be something to watch out for too. Anyways, just a little bit of a kind of recap, public service announcement. Let's talk about things going on right now, and that's it. And I'll see you guys all on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.